She's surrounded. The crew found out. They're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, 3 years from home, and there is nowhere to run. The captain has two choices: throw her overboard or make history. This is the story of Jeanne Baret, the first woman to sail around the entire world. But to do it, she had to become someone else entirely. In this video, we're going to follow her from a poor French village to the most dangerous ocean on Earth, to a discovery that took the world 250 years to fully acknowledge. By the end, you'll never look at those old exploration maps the same way again. Jeanne Baret was born in 1740 in Burgundy, France. No money, no education, no last name that anyone remembers. But she had one thing that would change her life. She knew plants. Every root, every leaf, every flower in that region. She learned it the way poor people learned things back then, by necessity, not by school. This is how she ended up working for Philibert Commerson, one of France's most brilliant botanists. He needed someone who could identify, collect, and preserve plant specimens in the field. Jeanne could do all of that, faster and better than anyone he'd ever hired. But here's where the story gets complicated. Commerson was brilliant, but physically weak. Bad health, fragile body. Jeanne wasn't just his assistant, she was doing the work that he physically couldn't. She became, in every practical sense, the real scientist. He was the name on the door. They also became a couple. She got pregnant. The child didn't survive, and neither of them slowed down. In 1766, Louis-Antoine de Bougainville received a royal order. France wanted its own circumnavigation of the globe. Commerson was invited as the chief botanist. This was the opportunity of a lifetime. There was just one problem. French naval law was absolute. No women on military ships. The punishment wasn't a fine or a warning, it was imprisonment, or worse. So Jeanne Baret disappeared, and Jeanne Baret appeared in her place. She bound her chest, cut her hair, lowered her voice, and signed the papers as Commerson's male servant. Bougainville himself reviewed the crew manifest. He saw nothing unusual. November 1766. The ship leaves Rochefort. Jeanne is on board, and every single morning for the next 3 years, she will wake up and perform the same act. Not for applause, not for history, just to survive another day. Here's what most people get wrong about this story. They focus on the disguise. But the disguise was just the price of admission. What Jeanne actually did on that expedition was extraordinary. Every time the ship anchored, South America, Tahiti, Madagascar, the Philippines, she was the first one off the boat, into the jungle, up the mountains, through the mud, in the heat, collecting specimens, cataloging, preserving, while the men rested. She personally collected over 6,000 plant specimens on that voyage. Some had never been seen by European scientists before. Commerson took the credit. But in his private notes, the ones historians found centuries later, he called his assistant indispensable. He knew exactly who was doing the work. And then came Tahiti. The local people knew immediately. Within hours of landing, the Tahitian community identified her, not with aggression, but with certainty. They pointed, they spoke, and suddenly, every man on that ship started looking at Jeanne Baret differently. Bougainville called her before the crew. He asked her directly. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She told him the truth, and she told it standing up. She said she knew the law, she knew the risk, and she would do it again. Bougainville later wrote about this moment in his memoirs. He called her courageous. He said she deserved recognition. And then, because he was still a French naval captain in 1768, he left her and Commerson on the island of Mauritius and sailed home without them. Commerson died on Mauritius in 1773, sick and far from home. Jeanne buried him, married a French soldier, and eventually made her way back to France in 1775. She had done it. She had sailed around the entire world. No one had officially recorded it. No one threw her a celebration. The French government eventually gave her a small pension, the first time the state had officially recognized a woman for a scientific expedition. Small, but real. In 2012, 246 years after she stepped on that ship, scientists named a newly discovered plant species after her, Solanum baretii, the first time her name was formally attached to the science she had spent her life doing. History didn't forget Jeanne Baret by accident. It forgot her on purpose. And the fact that we're still finding her in old journals, in plant names, in stories like this one, means that some people were always looking. She sailed around the world. The world took 250 years to notice.